Hi everyone and welcome to a new video. This one is about making Sophie Baek from season 4 of Bridgerton, which I am very excited about. The season hasn't actually started yet, it's actually coming out next year, but I saw some promotional pictures and loved her outfit. I've read the book, I love her story, I love Benedict in the show, and I'm also very excited about the fact that Yerin Ha, who is Australian and of Asian ethnicity, is playing Sophie. So I'm just obsessed with everything, hence why I had to make this outfit. So let's get straight into it. I'm using a silver satin fabric for the main dress. I've also got some more sparkly organza type fabrics for the sleeve details. And for the main bodice of the dress, I've got a silvery sparkly lace from Indonesia, and also some gems and beads and bits of lace that I have on hand as well to complete the outfit. The pattern I'm using is from Kitty Berry. I just wanted a pattern that I could use and not have to think too much about. I also added a skirt lining, which isn't in the pattern, but I just used a skirt piece and made it so that it didn't have the pleats. So that's what I'm showing there, and let's get straight into sewing the bodice. So I cut out every bodice piece out of a cotton as well, so I could use that cotton to, I think it's called interline the main fabrics. So I've just hand basted the cotton, the satin, and the lace layer on top to all of my bodice pieces, so that's what you can see here. So once all of my pieces are basted together so they're not shifting and I can just treat them as one single layer, I can get on to actually sewing my bodice together. So as you saw before, I did baste the darts in by hand and then I went back over by machine. This just really helps keep everything nice, neat in place. And now let's get on to sewing the rest of the bodice. I just follow the pattern instructions, so matching where the notches are and especially around the curved seams, using a lot of pins because the more pins you use, the more smooth it's going to be in the end. So matching all of that up as best I can and running it through the sewing machine. Once I've sewn the seam, I trim all of the excess seam allowance. This helps to get rid of a lot of that extra bulk of fabric that just isn't needed. And I iron all of the seams as well as I go. So there you can see the side and the back pieces sewn together, and then I've also got that front piece. So I'm sewing the sides now to the front piece, so each side, as well as the shoulder pieces. Those attach on those short edges there. Again, sew a straight seam and then obviously trim the excess seam allowance to get rid of the bulk and iron open all of the seams. This really helps keep everything nice and smooth from the outside. So that's the main outside bodice layer done. Here's the back, just so you can see. I've ironed all of the darts towards the back of the bodice and I've still got my basting stitches in there just to keep everything held together. I basically did the same thing for the bodice lining, which is just a single layer of the silver satin. Moving on to the sleeves, I used the cap sleeve pattern from the Kitty Berry pattern, and I'm doing it a little bit differently to hers, I think. But essentially I've cut out two pieces for one sleeve, sewn them right sides together and sewn along the bottom edge of the sleeve, and now I'm ironing that seam allowance upwards to one of the sides. They're both the same, so it doesn't really matter which one, and then stitching that seam allowance. So that's essentially going to act as understitching. So this sleeve is going to be fully lined, so it's nice and smooth edges everywhere on the inside and also has a clean edge along the hem. So now I fold them over and stitch together the short edges, and I bring that over to the iron, which I didn't show, and iron all of that nice and flat. And here you can see the sleeve, what it looks like, all nicely finished on the inside and also the hem. Next, I'm basting the sleeve layers together, so similar how I basted the bodice layers together. Basting this just helps keep everything together, especially when it comes to sewing the sleeve into the bodice. I'm also adding a row of gathering stitches along the top of the sleeve, so adding that and then pulling along those threads to gather up the material, and that's mostly focused on the top edge where it sits on the shoulder. Once I'm happy with how that's gathered up, I pin the sleeve into the arm side of the bodice, and I match the underarm piece to the side seam and make sure that the pleats are sitting at the top of the shoulder and looking nice there. So take it really slow when sewing this. I use a lot of pins again, and make sure that you're not catching any excess fabric underneath. So really making sure that it's nice and flat, and that will help give it a good result. So the sleeves are now in. Also just calling out here that I trimmed the seam allowance and sewed a zigzag stitch along the raw edges to keep them contained. Now onto the skirt. This is pretty easy. It's just sewing a bunch of straight seams along each of the skirt panels, and I finish them with a zigzag stitch again to keep those raw edges contained. I do this for both the outer skirt fabric as well as the skirt lining, so I've essentially got two skirts. And first I'm attaching the skirt lining to the bodice, so matching the center seam of the skirt, or center of the skirt to the center of the bodice on the wrong side of the bodice. So that's what I've done here, and I've sewn that down. And after I've done that, I can then attach the outer skirt. So the reason why I do the outer skirt last is because it's the final row of stitching. So if it goes beyond the stitch line of the inner lining skirt, then it won't be shown. The outer skirt is a little bit larger in width than the lining skirt, so I do add some pleats at the back. And this is following the Kitty Berry pattern. I didn't make any changes to the volume in the skirt. It's exactly what the pattern is. So I've added those pleats and sew that skirt onto the bodice, making sure that the stitch line is pretty much on the same stitch line as the lining skirt. Trim the seam allowance and zigzag stitch the raw edges. And at this point, I also decided to do a rolled hem along all of the skirt bottom edge pieces, just so I wouldn't have to worry about doing that later. So that's the hem there. Now, just to give you an idea of where we're at with the dress so far, the bodice is together, the sleeves are on, and both the skirt lining and the outer skirt are attached. But as you can see here, the back is still open, so the zipper is still not yet in, and the bodice lining still needs to be put in as well. And if you can just see at the very bottom there, the hem is all done. Next is attaching the bodice lining. I attach this by attaching them right sides together and using the center point on the center front to, mark where it needs to go, and then pinning outwards from there. I sew all along the neckline edge, and same process as before, trim the excess seam allowance, and because it's a curved edge around the neckline, I've also cut in little triangle notch things to help reduce the bulk of the fabric, especially when it's turned right side out. I then understitch along the seam allowance to the lining. Make sure it's to the lining fabric and not the outside, and this helps keep the lining to the inside of the garment and helps it lay nice and flat, and it will look really neat, especially after it's been pressed with an iron, which I don't show on camera, but I do press all of that down with the iron. Finally, we're moving on to attaching the zipper. I just match my back edges along the bodice and the skirt for the outer layers, and I mark where I want the zipper to go, and then for the rest of the skirt, I sew that with a regular stitch. So for where the zipper is going, I'm sewing a very long length stitch. So that's what you can see there. I put a stitch length of 5 because that's the longest my machine goes up to. And I've sewn that in, and now I can place where the zipper goes along that basted 5 length seam. I sew the zipper in on both sides of the teeth, just with the basting stitch again, just to keep it in place. And then I can turn it to the right side out and actually unpick all of the long basting stitches I initially put in. So then I can unzip the zip, and now that it's all in place, I can just go ahead and sew really close to the teeth using a proper zipper foot, and that is essentially how I do the zipper. And then once the zipper's in, I add in the lining, making sure that's all lined up to the zip, and I've pinned it all in place, just like that. And the lining of the bodice will also go upwards along the waistline like that to hide any of those raw edges. So that all needs to be hand sewn. So this is the hand sewing part. I decided to do the beads before I sewed in the bodice lining, just because all of the ugly bead stitching will be hidden behind the lining of the bodice, so I wouldn't have to look at it every time I put the dress on and worry about threads catching on onto anything. So you can see once all the beads are on, I can hand stitch all of the bodice lining. So that's the waistline along the back of the zip, also around the sleeves where the arm size are, all of that I hand sewed. It took me forever, but it's definitely worth it to line garments like this. It's just so much nicer, so much cleaner, and definitely more durable. Okay, let's go to the sleeve details. So I've got the base sleeves, but now I want to add these extra fluffy bow-looking things with this cool fabric. I basically cut out 4 rectangles, so there's 4 layers there. So I cut out 4 because I need 2 sleeve detail things, so 2 get sewn together and then the other 2 get sewn together. Trim around all of the seam allowances and trim like a corner piece off, so it turns right side out nicely. Close off the edge, and I put that underneath the iron to make it all nice and flat, and this is what I'm left with. And then I just shape it how I think it needs to look, so I do that. I basically do a big pleat in the center and start working out how I could try and make it look like Sophie's sleeves. I don't really know what I'm doing, I'm just pleating it to see what I come up with, and this is what I've come up with. I stitched that all down by machine, and yeah, that's sort of it. The idea behind me doing these details separately is that they can be removable, so if I don't want, the extra detail, I can just take it off, and these will just be hand stitched on, so I can unstitch them whenever I want. There's also this transparent layer, so I decided to do that as well with this organza. I just folded a long rectangle in half, so that's the folded edge on the top, and I plan to gather this underneath the sleeve details. Because I don't want the raw edges going everywhere, I'm zigzag stitching it first, and then I just start pinning it to the sleeve detail keeping the folded edge facing outwards. And this is sort of the effect. It's all hand sewn. I just hand sew that on, and yeah, again, just keep pinning it on to make sure it looks right and they look somewhat symmetrical. So there's the front. I really like how these actually turned out. I'm very pleased with, how it all went. And that's the back. Oh, and the mask. I didn't film this properly. I forgot to. But essentially I started with a base mask and added the white foam clay to the bottom to extend it down. I then used that same silver satin fabric to cover the whole mask, and I just glued that down. And then I started adding lace bits. I had to glue and sew the fabric around the mask. I just did whatever worked and with whatever tools I had on hand. So yeah, to cover up some of the dodgy glue and that, I added lace on top. So the base lace is this very flat scalloped one, and I just did that across the whole mask. And then I added my, really cool glitzy lace pieces that have, sequins and beads and just look really lovely. So there's a bit of mix of white, silver, and even like a creamy yellow as well. And then I added some extra blingy things like pearls and beads and little flowers. And here is the final look. I did add a bow and some elastic to attach the mask on, but that's essentially it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are excited for season 4, let me know what you're excited to see, any scenes. And yeah, if you want to keep up to date with what I'm working on, you can follow me on Instagram at Estelle Designs. I'm definitely more active there, but I do try to keep up with these YouTube videos for bigger projects that I am more excited about. So until next time, stay creative. Bye.